Hey, 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 I am starting to feel better. Sorry about not getting on here yesterday. I just did not have the energy. The last 3 nights were interesting. The fourth night, before those three, I was up all night, but that's not unusual considering I had a 3 week sleepathon beforehand. And then 3 nights in a row, I woke up in the middle of the night before flares or Schumann activity happened. Um, so 2 of those days, I was just up all day after that. And today I got a couple of shifts of less than 4 hours of sleep in. So I'm a little more energetic. But here's the Schumann, and if you're feeling time weirdness, it's because we are in the timeline shuffle post-solar and Schumann activation. That's the last 3 days of activity, and those very skinny pulses you see, those are timeline shift markers. We've had rolling geomagnetic storms. There's probably a decent sized one going to hit over the weekend because we have had some fast solar wind and some eruptions releasing some plasma. We had another proton event overnight, and I know that's part of the reason I was awake. I don't seem to feel good for whatever reason when that's happening. At any rate, it seems to be dissipating. The flare activity has been staying in the C range for the last day and a half, but don't dismiss that because they can still throw off pretty decent amounts of plasma and coronal mass ejections. So I feel like we're getting this lull. Take advantage of it while we have it. This usually happens during the timeline shifting, and then we will be back into the let's have some M flares and possibly an X flare zone. We finally have a coronal mass hole showing up. We haven't had one for a couple of weeks now, which has been interesting. That's probably part of the reason the solar wind is so fast. So many sunspot regions, so many sunspots. So while we're having these high solar winds, larger amounts of protons, there's the male in the atmosphere, the plasma coming in, solar radiation, and also the timeline shifting, you may notice different things. You may feel like your body's vibrating, you may feel very zoomy and energized. Try to ignore external stimuli, which is more negative, and allow your mind to dream and focus on the things you want to be experiencing. You may also notice some weird time things and glitches, like my spreadsheet reset all the dates to a 5-digit number.